Welcome back, everybody. John Arvosis here, getting all mic'd up. I'm in Washington, D.C., and we're ready to do another show of our Ukraine update. Actually, decent amount of news today. I didn't think there was going to be, but there is, with the European leaders visiting Kyiv and all, updating on that and some other things. Let me get rolling on TikTok here. And in the meantime, start introducing yourselves. You know the drill. Or if you're new, you don't know the drill. We sort of say where you're all from. Hey, Johnny. Let's see who we got on TikTok. Tyson beating Manda Bear. Rikes as the first TikToker. Look out. Look out. Hey, Mike. Hey, everybody. Top 10? I don't know what that is. Whoa. Hello, North Liberty. So close. I know. Tyson beat everybody. Cue the Russians. Flip. You're right. Flip, flip, flip. I will never remember the flip unless you tell me. Up, up. Thank you for that. 1 second. Just 1 second. Still got to do the flip. Mirror your video. Oh, now it's back to where it used to be. They had moved it the other day. So crazy. They're so crazy, the TikTok. Anyway, got to save the kittens. Exactly. Hey, everybody. As you know, we go a couple minutes of just folks introducing yourselves. Say where you're from if you would, because always fun to see. Thank you, Busy. I appreciate that. Bonjour, Audrey-Anne. Bonjour, aujourd'hui, Macron est enfin revenu à la raison, oui. Well, aujourd'hui. Exactly. Let's see what he does tomorrow. Up. It's supposed to start raining. It hasn't. Oh, hi from Ukraine. Olya's weighing in from Ukraine. Give Olya our sunflower greeting on TikTok, if you would. Currently watching this and the Situation Room. I might have had the situation. Well, actually, I've been watching more and more Vampire Diaries lately than CNN, although I do like CNN. What else, folks? What else we got here? Thank you for the first hat of the evening. Smiling's free. Oh, what's going on, guys? Oh, I'm tired again today. Well, that's because we did 3 hours watching that crazy damn thing practically. 3.5 hours. Man. Yeah, Laka. Mom said from under a cow pie. Hey, checkers. Oh, my. I do like CNN. Look, I've always found CNN to have sort of the best news coverage, certainly of the 24-hour networks. Forget it. I mean, there isn't much choice there anyway. It's CNN and MSNBC's okay. You know, to some degree, honestly, I don't like that how hard MSNBC tries to be left. Annoys me a bit. Whereas CNN does try to be the middle. The right, Republicans hate them, but that's because Republicans have been taught to hate all media other than Fox News, which is too bad. BBC, I don't get BBC. I mean, I don't get it. Like, I wouldn't know where to watch BBC news online, I guess, but I don't really watch my news online. I read my news online, but I don't quite watch it online. Oh, as always, guys, we'll wait another couple minutes for folks to filter in. We like to take, up to 5 minutes at the beginning just to give folks a chance to get the notifications. Today, I'm trying hot water with a little honey. See if that'll help my asthma chest a little more. Oh, Key West back in the house. There we go. Now I can see you guys better. What else? But yeah, like I said, actually a decent amount of news today from Ukraine. So thank you, user 17537. The new G8 Russia came up with. Is this a joke? Rachel's very good. No. Rachel's very good. I agree on that. Some whiskey. I've never been a whiskey guy, and I've tried. Actually, lemon I should have put. That is true. Whiskey, I've never been a whiskey fan. I even tried. I was in Edinburgh and was at the airport. We had a couple hours, and they were doing whiskey tastings. And I went up to the woman, and I was like, okay, I don't like whiskey. Show me the good and the bad if I can maybe taste a difference. And I couldn't taste a difference. And she goes to me, you just might not like whiskey. It's like, I don't think so, but I tried. So vodka, the only vodka I've got, I think I told you guys this. Hold on. And we are about to start, but we like to take one more minute before we get rolling, just so folks can come in. Let me show you my only vodka. The only vodka I own, I am turning into coffee extract for cooking. Tell you in a minute. I found some recipes and we're going to see if it works, but allegedly you could actually do it for making my coffee extract for cooking, but allegedly it's 2 parts vodka to 1 part coffee grounds, or thank you, Putin sucks, or chopped up coffee beans. Thank you, Disney, for the pearl. And we're going to see if it works. It takes about a month to steep. Brandy, cognac are better than whiskey. Still not my thing. I like port. I like other stuff. German tanks news. I did not see the German tanks news. Ooh. Is there German tanks news, folks? I have vanilla. Oh, of course I have vanilla extract, but I wanted to make some coffee extract as well, because for chocolate desserts, and then we are going to start here, but for chocolate desserts, a little, hint, a soupçon of coffee, a little hint of coffee can bring out chocolate. I'm going to use it for anything chocolate I make. My chocolate mug cake, when I make chocolate cakes, maybe even try a little in what you call them, chocolate chip cookies, you name it. All right, guys, let's dive in. We can talk about brandy at the end of the show. And let's get rolling. So I am John Aravosis, here to talk about Ukraine, the latest news today. There's actually a decent amount of news, which I was surprised, didn't think there'd be that much today. And the way we do this is I do about 20 minutes or so of the news that I think is relevant. And then we jump in, and there's another Ukrainian I see on TikTok, Toruska. As always, folks, if you, while I'm talking, if you see a Ukrainian pop in, we usually try to greet our Ukrainian friends with sunflowers, which is the national flower of Ukraine. So if you see it, well, thank you. There you go on TikTok. If you see it happen while I'm chattering, and I don't see that they're from Ukraine, give them a little greeting. And you're even getting them over on Twitch and YouTube as well. So welcome, Ukrainian. Oh, you welcome, Ukrainian. It's very impersonal. Sorry, I don't know your name. Oh, that's sweet of you. They're saying thank you for the support you're giving. Thank you to support Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. You're clearly doing a hell of a lot more than we are as far as what you're having to put up with. So hang in there. So the way this will work is I'm going to do the I'm going to tell you the news for 20 minutes. Then on TikTok, the easiest way for you to submit questions, we do the Q&A afterwards, is to use the Q&A feature in my profile. And just check out my profile on TikTok. You'll see in red, you should see it says Q&A. Some people it doesn't, but most it should. Put your questions there. And on YouTube, etc., use the box at the bottom to comment. And finally, if you do super chat questions over on TikTok, as a thank you, I will get to those questions as the next thing. And even if I'm in my intro part right now, the news part, if you do a super chat question, I will always get to it because I cannot get to all the questions. So that is my thank you to you for supporting my work. And finally, all the gifts you give me on TikTok, love it. Thank you. And I will always try to do a shout out when I see one of the gifts you guys throw on the screen. Only time I don't do it is because I'm looking down reading and I didn't see it. So I apologize for that. Let's get rolling. So here's the news, guys. I'm going to do a quick summary of the hearing this morning. I'm also adjusting the temperature in my apartment. The U.S. Congressional Committee that is investigating the insurrection, thank you, Disney, for that, did another public hearing today. They have been investigating now for a little over a year the January 6th attack on our Capitol. And they've had 1,000 witnesses, I believe, thousands of hours of testimony. And they're only starting to release that information public now. Oop, this is not a watch party. Sorry about that on Streamlabs, folks. See if I can access it. Hang on a moment. I got to update my little auto update. One moment. I don't know if Syndicate's here today. I think he was doing family stuff tonight. This is a watch party. This is not a watch party. There we go. Hang on a moment. Oh, Ted Cruz. We'll take away the Ted Cruz joke. You're watching my daily live. There we go. Okay, sorry. I switched them. We hadn't switched the things back from which this is. Not a watch party. Sorry, guys. I'm back. I was bad. I hadn't looked at we have our own bots. Oh, are the bad bots out already on TikTok? Damn. I think we should all take it as a badge of honor because especially on TikTok, when the bad bots come, it means we're doing something right. If they weren't, like a famous Hollywood star said once, one of the stars of like the old age of Hollywood, and they asked her and they said, Miss So-and-so, does it bother you when you get bad reviews? And she says something like, darling, it bothers me when I get no reviews. So the point is, like, better to have bad reviews than to have no reviews. So we're loving it. So the hearing was today. Today was the third hearing of the committee investigating the insurrection. There were a couple highlights. I'll tell you just briefly, and then we'll move on. We had a watch party earlier. A bunch of us got together just to watch it. It was pretty long, about 3 hours. Trump was told it was illegal for Vice President Pence to reject the election results, but Trump kept pressuring Pence anyway. So that's interesting because it goes to the fact just that Trump knew this was illegal. The Proud Boys, which is a pretty much a white supremacist neo-fascist group, they're one of the two big groups that's been indicted for sedition with regards to what happened that day. An informant told the FBI that the Proud Boys would have killed Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi that day. Mike Pence being our vice president, Nancy Pelosi being the top Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives. And finally, John Eastman, who was this low, kind of mid-level lawyer at the Department of Justice, who ended up coming up with the whole scheme, the whole scheme of how Mike Pence was going to steal the election for Trump. He sought a pardon from Trump and then didn't get one. He sought a pardon from Trump for what he did, and a presidential pardon in America exonerates you of any crime at the federal level, even murder. If you get a presidential pardon, they can't touch you. It's done. But at the federal level, state crimes you could still be held accountable for. Well, he was Trump's top guy helping him on everything. He asked for a pardon. Trump didn't give it to him. And I just think that in and of itself tells you something about Trump and Trump's loyalty. Trump always demands loyalty, but whenever sort of push comes to shove, Trump is never really loyal to those around him. And Eastman is another perfect example. I mean, Eastman was sort of the most loyal to Trump, and look what it got him. In any case, we will skip ahead to Ukraine now. So the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, and Romania, which I did not know Romania was being thrown in there, but Romania went, thank you for those, went to, and Mags as well, went to Kyiv today to meet with Zelensky, and meeting, at least from what we know, went well. Who knows? What we know is all the candidates, this is interesting. All the men said that they openly support Ukraine joining the EU, Ukraine's candidacy. The European Commission, it's on Friday, is expected to unveil its official recommendation. The only thing is, and sources are saying that the European Commission will recommend Ukraine get candidate status. The only thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Europeans here, but I read the other day that once that recommendation happens, it's got to be voted on by every single member of the European Union. And, Austria's been pretty shitty about this stuff. I don't know where Hungary is. I don't know where Turkey is on this, but has there been any evidence that anybody else is being problematic? Thank you, Netlin, as far as Ukraine getting in. Just curious if anybody wants to sort of throw that in here. GG or QW, whatever your name is, I'm just warning you, throw in conspiracy theories and you're going to get booted. Okay, you're out of here. Sorry, guys. Conspiracy folks, are never ever allowed. So this was interesting because this was a big switch for the French. The French are Turkey's not in the EU. I'm sorry, you're right. Turkey's got the candidate status as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, I knew that because we're holding them up, the Greeks. Thank you, Putin sucks, for that. This was a big turnaround for the French because the French, you'll recall, wanted this separate but equal, weird, junior status. Like they were going to open up a whole new category of status. Thank you, Marcy, for the Ukrainians. And it was going to be called, I wrote it down here. It was going to be called the European Political Community, the EPC. And Ukraine, Zelensky had said, no freaking way. He goes, we're not going to take some second level BS kind of thing. So very interesting turnaround by the French. Again, something happened. I talked about this the other day. We don't know what the hell happened that made it. And again, Romania is just extra at this point. Romania wasn't the problem. But whatever it is that caused France, Germany, and Italy to feel like they had to show up and they had to endorse Ukraine, and they had to endorse Ukraine's accession to the EU, to the European Union, something happened. I don't know what it is, but something happened. Harvey. Oh, hey, Harvey. Thanks. You and the community credit is amazing. Thank you, Harvey. Harvey's saying sweet things. Thank you, Madeline, for the universe. I love the universe there. Let me just see here. Does the vote have to be unanimous or not, folks? Help me out here. I'm going to see if folks weighed in on the EU thing, because that is what I read, said that every member had to vote. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, Netlin, for that. I call it the Borg thing, but it's probably not a Borg thing, but I still think of it as a Borg thing. Yep. Nope, you're not weighing in. Okay. I thought you guys would Google for me. Nobody's Googling. All right. I thought unanimous. Okay. Yep. Okay. TikTok's coming through. Thank you, TikTok. All right. You weren't helping me, YouTube. The TikTokers, TikTok 1, rest of you 0. Just saying. So yes, it does appear that it's got to be unanimous amongst the European Union members. Romania was probably there for moral support and to balance out the other 3. Yeah, honest to God. In any case, I do think it's very interesting that those 3 countries felt the need to come and suddenly make up. Oop, Nick, what's glitching? Sorry, is my TikTok connection not good, Nick, or what's going on? I will check my microphone again. Sometimes the mic, I think, is getting a little old. Excuse me, folks. Here. Oops. All right. Okay. Not me. I mean, I know Nick. Nick's a regular, so I know Nick isn't just a troll saying that. That's why I was asking. If it was somebody unknown, we'd be like, all right, guys. France is also going to be sending more artillery. We are glad to hear, because as you know, the big problem for Ukraine right now is artillery. Okay, thanks, guys. Glad it sounds okay. Macron says France is going to send 6 more Caesar self-propelled howitzers to Ukraine. That is much needed, and the self-propelled ones are particularly good. France earlier sent 6 of the same howitzers, and they're already in use on the front line. In terms of Severodonetsk, which is the member of the town in the east here, that is a lot of fighting been going on. Nothing has changed hands yet. Let me see what the latest here. Okay, this was interesting. So there were reports that the Ukrainians may have withdrawn a large portion of their combat troops who were originally holding Severodonetsk. All the main bridges over the river, we knew this from the other day, have been destroyed, probably by the Russians, we were thinking. But this analysis says that as a result, Russia may have to conduct a contested river crossing. Now, what's interesting about this is you've got Severodonetsk here. Russia is also trying to get the cities to the west, Kramatorsk here, Slavyansk up north here. And Russia is going to especially trying to get Lysychansk, which is right across the river, going west. Because, thank you, Kreiders, for those, because the bridges are all blown up, they've now got to cross the river if Russia tries. In other words, if the Ukrainians give up Severodonetsk, okay, and the Russians then decide to move on with the rest of the land, which they want to do, bingo, as who was this? As Barbaricus just said on TikTok, the Russians love their river crossings. You'll remember that the Russians got just the bejesus kicked out of them. Could have lost, at the minimum, NATO estimated that the Russians lost 400 troops in an earlier river crossing, and it could have been 1,000 troops. I mean, horrific. And then they tried another river crossing and got destroyed again. Not as many troops, but they got destroyed again. Thank you, Montel, for the confetti. So this would actually be this would be a good thing if the Ukrainians are now putting the Russians in the position where once again they're going to have to attack. So very interesting. General Milley. Oh yeah, General Milley. So General Milley gave a press conference today. The NATO defense ministers were meeting. Thank you, Flying Donuts. The NATO defense ministers were meeting, and General Milley, who is our not sure what you're asking about, Crimea. I don't know. Crimea's down here, part of Ukraine. Otherwise, my Russian's not good enough to know exactly what you're getting going on there. So General Milley came out, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He's America's top military official. We have of course, the Secretary of Defense, but he's the top uniformed military official. Thank you, Disney, and Putin sucks. As I said, I love when Putin sucks avatar buys me things on TikTok, because then I get to say, thank you, Putin sucks. General Milley said today that Russia has lost between 20% and 30% of its armored forces during war in Ukraine. Now, armored forces is an interesting term of art, and I'd be curious if any of the military folks among us can tell us exactly what he means by that. Thank you, Ritterin, for the butterflies. And Net Lynn for the lights. When they say armored forces, are they saying the actual armored units, meaning tanks and armored personnel carriers, things like that? Or are they actually talking about the men in the vehicles as well? You know what I mean? That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Armored forces. Because when I hear armored forces, I kind of wonder if they don't mean they had this many tanks with tankers and those tanks and tankers are gone. Now, mind you, thank you, Christy, for that. If you're going to blow up a tank, it's not like the tanker is going to probably survive, right? But armored vehicles and soldiers. Okay, thank you. That's how I took it to mean. Now, that's a big deal. Tanks, armored vehicles, plus their troops. Okay, which makes sense. But sometimes actually, some of the videos that I've seen where these vehicles have been blown up, you will see people crawling away from them sometimes. So that's why I'm asking. Milley and observers were saying this is a big deal. That's a lot of people to lose and a lot of machinery to lose, 20 to 30%. Just in this war, Russia's lost 20 to 30% of its armored forces. So, Ukraine is in a fight for its life. Russia, this is why I say, when people say, like, who's winning? Russia ain't doing well either, folks. I don't think Russia's winning this. Ukraine, it's not a slam dunk, but Russia's not winning this either. UK intelligence. Oh, let me give you a little more on that. So intelligence from the United Kingdom, usually this is from their defense intelligence. The Russian forces are severely undermanned. Russia's combat force is operating in severely undermanned groupings, with some battalion tactical groups as small as 30 soldiers compared to the typical number of 600 to 800 personnel. Now, I admit up front, I always tell people I'm a foreign policy guy. I'm not a military guy, so I don't always understand the nuances of the different, military groups. But I do know that different groups have different numbers of personnel in them. This is battalion tactical groups that are supposed to have 600 to 800 people in them have got as few as 30 left because they don't have any more men. Thank you for the Coral Crusher. And this is from, again, the UK Defense Ministry said this. So they're the source for this. Belarus. So Belarus is continuing to cause trouble. Belarus is Russia's ally in the war. It is a country located right here, northwest of Ukraine. Russia is to the east. So all of this is Russia, and then a hell of a lot more. This is Belarus over here. So what the Russians did, they invaded from a number of places, including coming through Belarus and invading down, right? Belarus has been causing a lot of trouble, making a lot of noise about possibly invading, moving troops, moving command centers to the border, doing everything they can to make it look like maybe they're going to invade, right? Thank you, Madeline, for those. And what I've been talking about, and finally I saw a Ukrainian defense folks saying the same thing the other day, that it looks like Belarus is doing this because they're trying to scare the Ukrainians and force the Ukrainians to move troops into this area just in case. Keep in mind, where the fighting is going on now is outside of Kharkiv, over here near Severodonetsk, Zaporizhia to a degree, Kherson to a large degree. Who sent me that? Schultze. Thank you, Schultze. So you've got, this is where the Russians are, all the way over here. This is where Belarus is. They don't need troops over here unless Belarus is causing problems. So Belarus is probably doing this because it's run by a dictator. They're allies with Putin, and they're trying to make Ukraine move their troops over there. Well, the President Zelensky, so President Zelensky today called for readiness checks in case of an invasion from Belarus today. In other words, even Zelensky is now forced to say, we've got to get ready in case there's an invasion. It's forcing them to, thank you, Smiley. It's forcing them to waste some of their intelligence assets in terms of some of their own intelligence people have now got to spend more time worrying about, more time looking at satellite images from Belarus, right? Probably keeping some troops over there that normally would have been fighting Russians elsewhere. So Belarus is doing this on behalf of Russia. The final thing I'll tell you is I was reading elsewhere that the Belarusian army is something like 80,000 men. It's nothing. And that they're just really bad. Like they would be they'd be no match for the Ukrainians. Nonetheless, 80,000 men coming across your border or whatever, you still got to have your troops fighting them, which is a waste of time. So, all right, got those covered. Russia's defense ministry. Oh yeah, so Russia's defense ministry says that Russian soldiers are bringing their relatives to the occupied territories, including Kherson, and they're settling in houses that belong to Ukrainians. Kherson, as I said, is this town over here. The Russians are occupying. It's also a region, an oblast. Just north of there is free Ukraine, so they've been fighting heavily. But all I got to say is, you have already had a lot of, thank you, Madeline, you've had a lot of partisan activity, but not meaning Republican, Democrat. Partisan meaning partisans, as we said. Thank you, Louis. The citizens who take up arms and fight and secretly plant bombs and these kind of things. You've had a lot of that going on in this region. And these guys are insane if they're bringing their families, because I got to tell you, like, that ain't safe. That ain't safe at all. But it's also just incredibly obnoxious. They're bringing their parents and I mean, their parents and their family, and they're living in Ukrainian homes. Just absolutely disgusting. Other disgusting news: children born after February 24th in Kherson, in the same region that we just talked about, the Kherson Oblast, will be forced to get Russian citizenship. TASS says, citing Russian processes, that orphans have also been forced to take Russian passports in the region. And finally, in Berdyansk, is a town right here. Here's Mariupol. Where, remember, the many months of fighting where the 2,000 Ukrainian troops in the steel plant fought off 14,000 Russians for 3 months practically. That's Mariupol. This is Berdyansk, right sort of southwest of it. In Berdyansk, which is also occupied by the Russians, they are unable to open schools because the school teachers are resisting Russian demands that they teach a Russian school curriculum. So that was kind of cool. Kanowski, thank you for that. Shauna, let me get my glasses on here. Oh, and thank you, Kath, for that, for the fireworks. Ukraine supporter from day one, lost internet when others, lost internet when others flooded in armaments. Love Ukraine. How does this not turn into a yearish battle? Okay, wait a second here. I see. You lost interest when others flooded in armaments. I see what you mean. Uh, how does this not turn into a yearish battle than a repeat of Crimea? Well, a repeat of Crimea would mean, boom, it's over in a way, right? I mean, right? That like, boom, they get it and it's done. And so, I mean, repeat of Crimea would be, in a way, a ceding to some of the BS we're hearing from the West, right? And actually, I'm going to get to that in a second because some of Biden's people are being really bad on this too. So a repeat of Crimea would be, oh my God, you better agree to peace, give them the land they want, and everything will be okay. You know, that would be the repeat of Crimea. This probably will be this could very well be a many-year battle. I don't know how you avoid that, because the Russians are going to be digging in. The Ukrainians are going to be getting better and better weapons. And you better believe the Ukrainians are going to want their land back, and they're going to be fighting for their land back, and they're not going to stop. As long as we keep supporting them, I don't blame them. And we should keep supporting them, right? For their land. So I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure what your question is. I guess if we don't keep supporting them, then they are going to lose the land, and it's going to be Crimea all over again. And Putin will simply go spend a couple of years building his military back up, maybe 5 years, however long it takes. Thank you, sweet. I'm going to call you sweet critter mom. And he'll be back for more. He wanted Kyiv the capital. He wanted the whole country. So I don't know. Let me know. I didn't quite understand your question. Let me know if I didn't quite answer your question. Okay. Let me keep going. Biden. Okay. So this was a really annoying story today. I did a, thank you, Outlaw. Actually, let me have a little sip of water. I did a TikTok earlier today that I was very pissed off in. NBC has a story up that Biden was very upset with his secretaries of defense and state when a few weeks ago they said that it is US's goal, that America's goal in the war is for Ukraine to win and for Russia to be beaten so badly that let me see if I've got the actual, to weaken Russia so that it is unable to launch unprovoked attacks like this in the near future, or in the meantime, in the near future. Thank you, Smiley and Z Harley. And supposedly Biden got very upset at this and wanted them to backtrack. This was too strident. Well, let me go on. And U.S. officials are saying today, that they're very upset at Zelensky because he's being much too strident. Thank you, NAR, for that. He's being much too strident. And he's by saying that Zelensky and Ukrainians want all their land back before they're willing to settle for peace. And there are a number of U.S. officials that think that's way too much, and they want Zelensky to dial it back. Now, God, first the Biden thing. I mean, I remember when they said it, I was like, woo, good for the Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense. But, you're saying that you want Ukraine to win, and that's considered too much? Really? I mean, and I even went back and looked at what the comment was. The comment from from the two men was just that we want this war to weaken Russia sufficiently so that they are unable or less able to invade their neighbors and commit these kind of wars. Why would that be a bad thing? And why would we not want to admit that? So what does this do, by the way? And then leaking this is even worse. Thank you, Netlin, because now we've told Putin this. So now Putin knows that Biden doesn't want this war to be about beating Russia again. Once again, we're back to Putin knows that we don't want him to lose. I mean, I just can't with these people. I swear to God, I don't know. And the land thing too, the same thing, because we don't want to fight a long war. Oh, I'm sorry. Is 3 months too long for you? Was that hard? Seriously, our officials, it's a lot of money. I agree, but 3 months is too hard? I'm sorry. Try living in London for a year during the siege. Try living in Europe for 4 years under Hitler. I mean, seriously? Three months now? No, this stuff just pisses me off. It really, and I'm sorry, but this, and I pissed off a lot of people on TikTok, on Twitter this morning, but this is Joe Biden's problem. Biden likes to compromise. And I think Biden doesn't care what the compromise is. And I've met politicians like this before. Thank you. I think, was that Poppy? Yep, it was Poppy. Thank you, Poppy, for that. He likes to compromise. And there are politicians who believe that any compromise is good, not the good compromise. I am a big believer in the good compromise. Thank you, Candidacy. I actually get annoyed at people on the left who are to the left of me, thanks, Netlin, who are always saying things like compromise is evil. We should be going for, this kind of thing. No, compromise is not evil, like in a negotiation, right? If you're trying to get legislation passed, you get the best you can. Like we're trying to get some gun legislation passed right now. You get the best you can. And you got to, if you don't have the votes, you've got to compromise. So I get that. But in Biden's case, I don't think he believes in anything necessarily, so that he'll stake out positions, but he's not wedded to the position, so he won't even fight for them. What he's wedded to is, in the end, he'll just cut a deal, any deal, and say he made a deal. Anyway, I'm telling you, keep an eye on this. And I don't mean to say it to criticize Biden. Well, I do mean to say it to criticize Biden, but as somebody who supported Biden, and, obviously I don't think Donald Trump would be better. That's kind of not the point. Right now, I'm worried about Ukrainian lives, about Ukrainian security, and about the security of the world. I'm not worried about whether Donald Trump would have blown up the world, which, he may have. I'm worried about, is Biden doing this well enough, and can he be better? As Royshin, who I'll never pronounce your name correctly, just said, Biden's squishy. He's squishy. Biden didn't want to go after bin Laden. He disagreed with Obama on bin Laden. Biden's squishy. And he's squishy on this. Biden does not want Ukraine to win. He doesn't. He doesn't want Russia to win, but he really doesn't want Ukraine to win. And frankly, I would, we're seeing it. Thank you, Canowski. We're seeing it more clearly with Macron and Schultz. They're kind of letting us know publicly, except then Macron keeps going back and forth. I mean, it's not Macron. Schultz keeps going back and forth in Germany, but Macron kind of shows his hands. Macron wants a deal. And frankly, Biden wants a deal. But Biden is, I just, keep an eye on it, because the final point I'll make on this is wait until it's if any of the Americans out there, wait until it's your pet issue, because the same Roshin? Well, you got me one step closer, but you didn't say which syllable was accented. It ain't a common name in America, sister. But wait until it's your pet issue, because he's going to do it again. He's going to go there and he's going to cave. And he's going to cave when he doesn't have to cave. I'm for compromises. I'm not for caving up front, which is what we've been doing to Putin. And I'll sort of end it with this. From the beginning, we've been telling Putin, it'll be nuclear war if we have a fight with you. It'll be World War III. Nothing that could happen in Ukraine would bring us to blows with the Russians, because we can't afford fighting with the Russians. Thank you, Rainbow Rain, for that. So if I'm Putin, I keep hearing, okay, there's literally nothing that can happen. Okay, great. There's nothing that can happen for America to get involved and fight my troops directly. Excellent. So anyway, oh my God. Now, Biden's, we don't have to get into all of this stuff too, though, because Biden's infrastructure bill, the one he already did was huge and very helpful. He wanted to do the bigger one, but I mean, I'm not even going to get into that stuff right now. But there is a squishiness, which Roshin, depending what accent, Roshin, Jesus Christ, Roshin, tell me, I'm writing it down so that at least there's a better chance of muscle memory here, said he's squishy. That's probably the best way to describe him. He's squishy. All right, let me go on with the rest of the news. The Brits have sanctioned Kirill, the Patriarch of Russia, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, who's an homophobic, corrupt jerk in the pocket of the KGB and the GRU and everybody else, the FSB. So he gets sanctioned by the Brits, and this I thought was interesting. He will face a travel ban, and his assets will be frozen. Why does the head of a church have assets? Seriously, why does this man have assets? My church, our priests don't have assets. I'm Greek Orthodox. They shouldn't have assets. Why does this guy have any assets? Seriously, though, very interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, his accounts are frozen, so that's good. There were, oh gosh, I don't know where I read this today. Shoot, horrific stories. Let me see if I can find it on my phone and see to point you guys. There was a long article about what Ukrainians are going through who are leaving Mariupol and the whole process of the filtration camps that we read about. And I just want to see if I can just see what paper. Come on. This is BBC. This is BBC. BBC did an amazing article on this today, interviewing a number of different people and telling their stories of just how they were treated by the Russians, and these men especially, of course, and how these men are interrogated, and they're taken up for interrogation. They go through your phone, of course, looking for anything they can find. They download your phone, and they're literally asking this guy and saying, one guy, what do you think of Zelensky? And he goes, he's okay, I guess. Gets to the next guy over. Well, we went through your Instagram and there is this picture from 3 weeks ago of Zelensky, and you wrote below it, he's the president we need for this hour. So did you lie to us? I mean, shit like, oh God, these guys are awful. I mean, mind you, the Russians are trying to make it like a war crime that Ukrainians actually supported their own president, right? I'm trying to remember the other thing. Oh yeah, they're pulling men aside that have beards because they think beards means you're members of the Azov, battalion, which used to kind of have ties with the Enzis and all of that. Back in 2014, that got wiped out. They're normal now, but they're trying to claim a beard is evidence. One guy, they pulled him aside and accused him of being an Enzi because he had a picture. He either was reading a book or he had a picture of a book, and the title of the book included one of the words had the letter H as the first word. Now, neo-Nazis, I'll keep not trying to use the word Enzis here, so I don't want to follow the filters. Neo-Enzis will wear T-shirts with 88 written on them. The numbers 8 and 8 in a row. That's because H in English is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So 88 means HH, which means Heil, right? You get the picture? So the Russians were trying to claim, because this guy had a book that had I don't know what word, some word starting with an H. It was secret code showing that he was a fan of Adolf. And then of course, beating these guys. I mean, the brutality of them, what they did to these guys. It's an amazing article, a horrific article, but an amazing article from the BBC. Google it if you want. I mean, it's pretty awful. Gazprom, the Russian natural gas agency, is still playing games with Germany. They've cut gas supply now by 60% over the last 2 days. I think they're in the third day now. Putatively, arguably, it's because a piece broke for the pipeline, and it was being fixed in thank you, Rainbow. It was being fixed in Canada, and the Canadians now cannot export the pipe back to the Russians because of the export sanctions. So the Russians are retaliating by cutting natural gas to Western Europe and to Germany in particular. So that ain't going to be pretty. A Russian spy was caught at The Hague at the International Criminal Court. A Russian was pretending to be a Brazilian, but this was a long cover this guy had built up. He comes from Brazil, Brazilian name, claims to be Brazilian, and accepted an internship. Actually, this is really fascinating too. An internship at The Hague at the International Criminal Court, which is, the big international war crimes place. And they think, obviously, he was trying to get information, trying to turn other people, other recruits, but also trying to get information about the investigations of Russia's war crimes in Georgia and in Ukraine now. Now, what's weird to me is thinking of just that, the fact that an intern. Who the hell? I mean, the last person, when I was at the UN, the working at the United Nations, the last person I would have thought was a spy was an intern that we hired. In a million years, I would have never thought an intern was a spy. You know? I mean, I just the whole notion of it is fascinating to me, you know? Now, some of the staffers, yeah. Thank you, Netlin. Some of the staffers, certainly spies, but the interns, just wild. Coca-Cola. So there's news on Coca-Cola leaving Russia, but it's a little weird. The story was not clear. It said that Coca-Cola, the company said in a statement, it is depleting its stock in the country. Thank you, the inspired woman. It is depleting its stock in the country and will stop the production and sale of Coca-Cola or other brands. Thank you, best grandma. Appreciate that. The thing is, if you froze your operations, of course, you're not producing anymore and your stock would be depleted. So does this mean Coke is simply freezing its operations that it should have frozen, frankly, at the beginning of the war anyway? Or does this mean Coke is actually pulling out of Russia entirely, like the other countries? They're abandoning Russia. This is what I'm saying. No, because Carol's saying, I thought Coke left in March. They did. That is right. They left, but like everyone else, they suspended their operations. Now they're saying they're stopping production and sale and depleting their stock. Well, were they producing and selling Coke up until now in Russia? This is a very weird story. And as I said, it doesn't definitively say that they were going to leave. It's a very weird story. So, but I agree. Yeah, no, Super World of Brown is saying about the interns. I agree completely that in a million years, I would have never thought an intern would have been a spy. You think of the interns as, low level, whatever. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, frankly. Intern. I agree. Smart on the Russians' part in terms of being evil. The UK is providing 155 millimeter howitzers to Ukraine. Canada's providing howitzer replacement barrels. Now, this is kind of interesting. Thanks, Flower Lady. I did not know the barrels on modern artillery guns, such as the M777 howitzer, have to be replaced after firing up to 2,500 rounds, which I did not know. So Canada is sending them a number of replacement barrels, which is kind of cool. And the final point here is actually, this is interesting because the question somebody had asked the other day was what was happening with the Zaporizhia nuclear plant in the south. Remember, Zaporizhia is the town, but also region in southern Ukraine, but the town Zaporizhia, near it is the nuclear plant. I believe it's got, it's the Energoatom nuclear plant. That's the name of the plant, but we say the Zaporizhia nuclear plant. You guys were asking the other day where the power was going. Did the Russians tap into it or what? And we weren't really sure what the deal was. So listen to this. The Russians are claiming that the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, which has been under Russian control for a while now, is going to start. Oh, wait, hold this. Russia's nuclear plant to be under Russian control. Wait a minute. Yeah, so they were claiming that it was going to be tied into the Russian system starting September 1st. The Ukrainians are saying the plant will continue to operate in the Ukrainian energy system and in accordance with Ukrainian legislation. So who the hell knows? The plant's been occupied by Russian troops since March 4th. I'm not quite sure. Thank you, Crusher, for that, by the way. I'm not quite sure how the Ukrainians are able to stop the Russians from stealing the power, really. You know what I mean? Unless it's a matter of it's just too hard for them to do. Now, I didn't bring up the two Americans missing Jingle Bells only because we talked about them yesterday. They're two, I don't know that we've got any, I don't think I saw any news on them today. They're two American men, both from Alabama. One name I could pronounce, and it's like four names, classic Southern name, Billy Bob, Joe, blah, 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 blah. And the other one is like a Vietnamese name. so I couldn't pronounce his name. But I remember it because it was Vietnamese. But there was no news on them other than they were missing and presumed captured by the Russians. So and I didn't see anything new about it today. Yeah, others are saying no news today. But yeah, I didn't bring it up only because I know you guys don't always see the show both days or all the time during both days, but I sort of try not to hit the same stories twice anyway. CNN released a picture of them captured, says Ali. Okay. I mean, better captured than not, except this, of course, means we're going to have yet another show trial and yet another treason like they did with the two Brits and a Moroccan, and now they've got a South Korean. Thank you, Christy. And now that they've got a South Korean, they're going to be doing it too as well. So that is it for the news today. We went a little longer because we had questions jump in, which is frankly okay because I kind of enjoy having the questions jump in. So let's jump into Q&A now, kiddos. I'm doing okay. I did my inhaler before we started, so at least I can breathe today. And I'm getting even more super duper medicine in the morning that I'm looking forward to, or at noon, it's coming in. So I'm going to beat this stupid thing. What else we got? Oh, who was that? Miss Mickey, thank you, and B Dog. See, like I was telling you, there actually was a decent amount of news today. Just looking to see. Feel free to send your questions because I know you guys like to chat amongst yourselves. You gang that I'm pointing to, you guys. Oh, that's right. Yes, these are the other Starbucks mugs, Atlanta. Thank you for that, Netlin. I'm not drinking tea. Oh, please. No. I'm drinking hot water with honey in it. Thank you for that. Who was that? I'm going to see. Oh, Marcy and Netlin. Thank you. Let me go and see if you guys put any questions here. Christy, thank you too. Go to my Q&A. So you can go to the Q&A. The Scotland mug is great. The Scotland mug doesn't exist anymore. You had to buy it in 2007. You will not find it. It's very annoying. Trust me. Starbucks started making really crappy mugs after that. It was too bad. I don't remember if somebody asked this yesterday or today. It doesn't show me when you guys pose the questions, but thank you for the shells. Yeah, Babaricus, I don't remember if you asked this yesterday or today. I thought we had it yesterday, but I'll say it anyway. If they execute the U.S., the U.K., Moroccan, and Korean prisoners, will countries go to war? Boy, it's going to be really weird. I mean, I'll speak for the U.S. because I know politics here. Okay, this is new. Okay, I'll speak for the U.S. because I know politics here. Thank you, Onyx and Kreiders, both for those. If they execute an American, even if it's an American who chose to work for the, the Ukrainian army, they execute an American, people here are going to be pissed. And people here are going to be really pissed. Now, first of all, they'll try to get away with it by having it be the local authorities, the local collaborationists, and not the Russians doing it, first of all. But nonetheless, I don't think we're going to declare war, but people are going to be pissed. And I think there is going to have to be some kind. First of all, if it's the local military, I said this yesterday, if it's the local collaborationist military in the regions in the East, then we need exactly the DPR government. I hate to even call them that because they're not, but the collaborationist governments in the East, then we need to bomb something. We need to bomb some kind of building, facility, whatever that they're using. The problem becomes, and kill some of their soldiers and some of their leadership. The problem becomes knowing that there's no Russians there because there's always the risk of hitting Russians. But if an American gets killed, I think to some degree, I don't know. We're not going to go to war over it, but if Biden weren't to blow up something of theirs that included a lot of their men, he'd be in real trouble, I think. He'd be in real trouble. You can't simply send more guns. You can send more guns, And again, that's almost the kind of thing, where you say, okie dokie, well, now we're sending those tanks we didn't want to send. Thank you, Outlaw, for that. Now we send them some nice tanks. Now we send them some MiG fighter jets, something like that. But you basically say, okay, all bets are off. Now we're going to send the kind of weapons that you never wanted to see, or we're going to send the long range missile launchers that Ukraine wanted, with long range missiles, something like that. But very annoying. I did not hear about the spy caught in the a spy caught in the UK on Monday. I don't think so. Anybody else? A spy caught in the UK on Monday? Harvey, I rely on you for my UK news. Oops, hold on. My phone. I hate this when the RAM. I've got like a really good iPhone, and the RAM went to hell fast on this thing with some of the updates. Here we go. It's going to my other TikTok things. Q&A. Thoughts on Ginny Thomas meeting with the January 6th committee. She said she looked forward to it, so they asked her today. Oh, did they? She's a piece of work. Ginny Thomas is the wife of Clarence Thomas, who is one of the most conservative Supreme Court justices on our Supreme Court. And she is a pretty far right political activist. So she was involved with the people who were trying to overthrow the election and all that kind of stuff. So she's always been involved in things that have been somewhat, what I would say, conflict of interest to her husband's job being on the Supreme Court. But she was involved as well with this, I don't want to say with the insurrection, but with it is part of an insurrection more broadly, with trying to overthrow the election results. There's no way she would come in. I mean, she could say she'd be happy to. There's no way she's going to come in. Hope she does. Why does the UN not declare Russian government is committing genocide when so many confirmed acts violate UN Genocide Convention? I know that there have been statements from UN officials. There have been statements from UN officials saying that, getting pretty close to it. Well, certainly saying that these are war crimes. I don't remember with genocide if anybody from the UN made the statement. I will say the UN is, the UN is weak. The UN's always weak. The problem with the UN is the UN is its members, and Russia's a big member, or big-ish member. So they're always afraid of criticizing their own members. And of course, their members are the UN. So it's this circular problem they've got. But I did not see what they said on genocide, but I know with some of the war crimes and things, there were UN officials speaking out on that, which was good. Unless you're thinking of the International Criminal Court guy that I talked about earlier, a suspected spy caught at Gatwick, but that's not the ICC guy. We know that. Rep the Russian. Yep. Oh, the man in his 40s was arrested on Monday under the Official Secrets Act under a provision that outlaws spying on the UK. Okay, don't know if it sounds like, I guess it's different. It's got to be different because the other one was, had to be. After the other day where we discussed tanks being blown up, I think about it like when Data said yes after the Enterprise destroyed the Klingon ship in Generations. Oh, wait, I'm trying to remember actually, what did they ask him if they blew it up? And he said yes. I don't even see. That was not my favorite episode though. Chris is asking or saying why France, Germany, and the US seem to do a lot of double talk, and UK and Poland have stuck to Russia. Yeah. I don't know. It is weird. I mean, France, Germany, and the US, France and Germany have been really bad. US plays a good game. We've provided a lot of weapons, but clearly Biden doesn't want Ukraine to win. He wants a tie. Whereas the UK is just like boom. Poland is boom. The Baltic states as well. And what's interesting to me too is, you'd think that Poland and the Baltic states, because they, I mean, for all intents and purposes, border Russia. They all don't border Russia, but they border Russia. I mean, they're right there. You know what I mean? I mean, you would think that they would be the most cautious because they're the ones that have to live alongside Russia. Yet they're the ones who are the most outspoken on all this stuff, which is kind of interesting. You know, oh, you mean where's Minsk? I think on my map, I think Minsk is like over here. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Isn't Minsk like over here more? I think the capital of people are saying no. Is that not where it is? I remember it being further over and then close to Poland, but further along the map. To the right is on the western border of what? Minsk is north of Kyiv. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, it's north of Kyiv. So it's up here. Oh, interesting. Okay, I totally thought it was over here. Okay. Hold on. Now I'm going to look it up. Now I'm going to look it up on my phone. My T-shirt doesn't do Russia, doesn't do Belarus. It only does Ukraine. Although the Ukraine is pretty good on this is the T-shirt map I've got, but I love it because I think it's cool and frankly it looks good. Like you can actually see. Hang on. Well, okay, it's not north, but I see what you're saying. It's in the middle and up. Yeah. So it's north of here, so it's up here. Yeah. It's basically halfway between here and then up is where Minsk is. Okay. There you go. So I was wrong, but I mean it's north of Kyiv, but it's northwest of Kyiv. Yeah, exactly. All right. What it was immediately after the Klingon ship blew up. Data had the emotion chip turned on. It was a hell yes celebration type comment, right? Russia did massive, causing a lot of fear with the poisoning on the UK soil. We know about that stuff, yeah. Oh, Z T-shirt fun. No, we've got to come up. I forgot about that. We've got to come up with ideas for a Z T-shirt. This is true. Yeah, that is okay. I've written it down again. I've got to remember that. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Janice. I just saw that, the hat. Sorry, I was writing down about my Z T-shirt. I can go back to TikTok questions. Just wanted to see if there was anything here from y'all. Well, I mean, that's one argument, Elise. Elise is saying, I don't think countries should go to war over the prisoners, meaning the American, British, Moroccan, Korean prisoners that were taken because they were not acting on behalf of their governments. That is true. And that is part of the reason why I would agree with you, you know? Well, see, living in DC, you pick up, for example, you say you all living in DC, because in Chicago, I'd say you guys, well, even better, use guys is really Chicago, but I would say you guys. But I learned to say you all in DC because it's a little more proper because of the Southern influence. But no, I think that's exactly right, Elise, that because these are Americans who have volunteered to fight. Thank you, Kanausi, because they're Americans who volunteered to fight and they're not fighting on behalf of the U.S. military. If they were killed, it would still be killing an American, which is very serious, but it would not be killing an American service member, which would be war. And it's somebody who put themselves in harm's way. It gets tricky, but to me, it means you blow the hell out of something in the collaborationist military, in my opinion. Deep. All right, let me go back to TikTok for you guys. I'm reading the comments over there. Well, they're mercenaries, but they're not mercenaries though. They're not mercenaries. These guys, the ones I read were all in the Ukrainian military. Thank you, Iggy. They were Ukrainian army members. You know, the two guys from Alabama were sent there to help with training, not necessarily combat. Any good news today? Well, I mean, there's a number of things that I had here that were good news, right? The French, the British, the Germans, the Italians, and the Romanians now all say that they agree to Ukraine joining the European Union. That was good news. The French are sending more artillery. That's good news. What did I have? What else did I have? The Brits were sending, not the Brits. Who else? The Canadians are going to be sending some more weapons, which is helpful. The Coke is leaving Russia. I call that good news. Yeah, Canada is sending howitzer replacements. The UK is sending 20 new howitzers as well, artillery pieces they really need. So there's a number of good pieces. I mean, I don't have good pieces like little girls singing a concert. We haven't had it. We do need more of those, by the way. We've not had any of those in a while. Canadians have weapons. Canadians have weapons. Be nice. Be nice. Canadians. Canada's NATO. Canada's NATO. No news on Putin's health. You know, it's all rumors, guys. It's all rumors on the Putin stuff. Let me pull up. IKEA. I mentioned IKEA. Oh, did I not mention IKEA yesterday? I don't know if I did. Or maybe not. Yeah, IKEA is out for good. That was news. Maybe I didn't mention it yesterday. Yep, IKEA's gone. So, bam. That's good. All signed a 3-year contract to fight for the Ukrainian military. Yeah. So they're not mercenaries. I don't consider a mercenary. I don't consider a mercenary necessarily somebody going and signing up for a foreign military. You know, I consider a mercenary being the Wagner group, these like hired gun groups that are just, traveling the world and fighting for whomever. These guys, by all intent, I would assume, these guys did not go to Ukraine because they said, hey, I need some cash. I understand I can fight in Ukraine. I mean, what the hell? They went to Ukraine because it was part of their sort of mission in life to try to help the Ukrainians. Yeah, the French Foreign Legion are not mercenaries. Exactly. Somebody ought to Google the definition. I'm curious what it is, but I see mercenaries as being like guns for hire, not patriots who want to help another country survive. And that's their motivation, not the cash. That's my take. Ricky Ticky. Is gun for hire, not volunteers. Exactly. And some were expats. Yeah, the two Brits and the Moroccan long time lived in Ukraine for a long time, actually. All right, let me pull the question again here. One moment. Oops. We got many more minutes of questions. Do you think France, Germany, and Italy discussed forcing peace negotiations to Zelensky? What I think happened probably is they certainly, my guess is they told him, of course, nobody would force you. But it would be really good to return to the negotiating table because you never know. It's always good to talk. And my guess is that's the kind of thing they were pushing on him, and I don't necessarily see a negative to talking, not necessarily. Although I think from Ukraine's perspective, Ukraine would like to get more of the Western weapons first, start getting some of its land back, or killing a lot of Russian soldiers with these new weapons before it even sits down to the table, because then it's sitting down from a position of more strength. So that could be why Ukraine's delaying, because they're saying, in a month to 2 months, we're going to be in a much stronger position to even sit down. That would be my guess. Yep, we're going to work on the Z. We're going to work on the Z t-shirts. Well, basically, I wanted to make funny t-shirts mocking the Z thing that the Russians do. I thought it'd be funny. What is Laka saying? Laka's putting in multi. Oh, this is mercenary. Of a person or their behavior, primarily concerned with making money at the expense of ethics. She's nothing but a mercenary little gold digger. That's such an old expression. She's nothing but a mercenary little gold digger, said the 1940s. What a quote. That's even kind of sexist, that quote. Oh, my God, I'm surprised that's in any dictionary. But it's correct. a professional soldier hired to serve in a foreign army. He had planned to seize power with the aid of a group of mercenaries. A professional soldier hired to serve in a foreign army. I mean, that would make it a mercenary. I'm just not convinced it's the same thing. You know? I'm not convinced that's, yeah. First of all, they're not hired to serve. Okay, that's the difference too. Okay, that's the difference. That's the difference. Thank you, Netlin, for those. Mercenaries, at least initially, are when Mother of Dragons bought those other soldiers and she bought the army. She bought mercenaries, right? And then she kind of didn't buy them because she stole them. But that's a mercenary. So mercenary is when you hire someone to be in your army, so to speak. It's mercenary isn't when somebody volunteers to be in your army. Exactly. Ukraine didn't hire them. They volunteered. It's whether it went this way or this way. So Ukraine didn't go and grab them. They offered themselves to the Ukrainians, and it makes a difference. And they weren't doing it for money. So yeah, I think we're good on this. Exactly. Foreign Legion is not mercenary. I agree. Thank you, Idel Rio, for those. If Biden doesn't want Ukraine to win, what was the point of the Lend-Lease deal? I think Biden wants a tie because he wants a nice peace treaty. And he does. If Russia wins, it's really bad. If Russia wins, it's really dangerous. And it's dangerous for the region and instability. But if Ukraine wins, he's afraid Russia might do something stupid, like use biological chemical weapons. So Biden wants a tie where both countries feel like they're going to have to agree to something. And that's what he wants. Yeah. That he recognizes that it's too dangerous for Russia to win, but he thinks it's too dangerous for Ukraine to win because Russia will go crazy. And I think that's wimpy. And I think he's getting bad advice. And, it's just, no, I mean, it's a fair point. Look, Luke just saying, not justifying Biden, but the best deals are often the ones where no one wins. No, I think that's the case. The problem with this is, and I guess I'd have to think of other situations and other wars and everything else. The problem with this is it's not a dispute. There was no dispute. It's not like Greece and Turkey fighting, although even Greece and Turkey now, there's really no dispute. Turkey's just playing games. But it's not like you have a border where it's really unclear which way the border goes and who's got what. And finally somebody intervenes and says, okay, I know nobody's going to be happy, but we're cutting it down the middle. This is a situation where the Russians just this is a situation of you got mugged on the way home from work and somebody jumped you, took all your money and is trying to kill you. And somebody jumps in and says, I'm a mediator. We're going to reach a deal. No one's going to be happy, but we're going to reach a deal. This is different, right? I mean, this is somebody getting mugged by a murderer. This isn't Ukraine and Russia have long disputed the territory. They haven't disputed the territory at all. There's no territorial dispute. You know what I mean? It's not a border they can't agree on. That's why I wonder whether there's other examples. And I mean, maybe Northern Ireland, except I'm not an expert on Northern Ireland, but I'm trying to find, like, are there other situations where it's akin to this and we did feel like, okay, it was an imperfect deal, but it was a good one. Both sides were unhappy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Putin's unhappy because he may not get to murder the victim. He may only get to violate the victim and steal all their money. That's why Putin's going to be unhappy. I just feel like it's not the same thing, Well, Cyprus, except Cyprus, there's no deal at all on Cyprus. There's no deal on Cyprus, but there's no deal. The Turks still are occupying the top third of Cyprus. There's no deal at all. Oh, you're trying to say maybe Cyprus, though Cyprus, you could argue the same thing. It was an act of aggression by one party, potentially, hard to say. No, neither are happy. I get that, but one side, like I said, it's one side's on. It's I don't. I guess what I'm throwing in here is not just one side being unhappy, both sides being equally unhappy. I'm throwing a bit of ethics in here too, that that the deal has to be equitable. And I don't see how it's equitable if Russia gets anything out of it, because Russia doesn't deserve anything in the deal at all. You know? Um, now, also part of the problem is Ukraine isn't losing. I mean, if Ukraine was losing, then you'd also be in that situation. I don't know. It's a tough one for me. It's a tough one for me. Yeah, Northern Ireland, like I said, I just don't know enough about Northern Ireland to know all that, all the history there. I think Biden and the West Europeans, other than the UK, would love this to be over by the fall. I think so. It's funny. I was talking to somebody today who told me that Biden probably is, terrified about this affecting his reelection chances, and he wants it over by his reelection in 2024. And I told them that's because Biden's an idiot. This was his chance to be a war president. This was Biden's chance to stand before the world and be the leader America is supposed to be, the mature leader, talk about why it matters, why America's influence in the world isn't waning, why only America could pull this coalition together, and why freedom still matters, right? All those things that Biden cannot do because he can't speak publicly. But the idea that the war needs to go away is crazy, because this could have been a great asset for Biden, or whoever is running in 2024 as a Democrat. This could have been a great asset for them in terms of because in a way, America is at war. All of our countries are at war. I mean, it is a world war to a degree. It's a world proxy war. It is that, and we could have, and to argue also in terms of the international rules and the international order and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's important for the world, but I just think Biden could have really, really owned this and re-educated America about why our influence does matter. You could use the Ronald Reagan language. This is just a missed opportunity saying, oh my God, make it go away. I mean, make it go away if you can fix it, yes, but you don't make it go away because you think this hurts you politically, when frankly, it probably helps you politically if you handled it right. But, we ain't dealing with, I don't even know who to compare him to. Well, that's the question, when the sanctions raised, but that's going to be a problem with Europe. We've got to be careful with the sanctions, that Europe doesn't just kind of, no offense, Europe, but that, the same three people, the French, the Germans, and the Italians don't just make the sanctions go poof right away either, right? Oh, excuse me. Cyprus, northern Cyprus was invaded by the Turks, and they declared their own independent republic that only Turkey recognizes, the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, I think it's called, that only Turkey recognizes. It's a third of the island, and then the bottom 2/3 are Greek. They're independent. I mean, Cyprus is a country, but Turkey cut it in two. Now, it's a little more complicated because there was a coup and other crazy stuff in the 70s that probably wasn't a really bright idea, but nonetheless, yeah, Cyprus is a mess to this day. I mean, Greek side of Cyprus is amazing. I've been there. Amazing country. Quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Prosperous. Bah, Tyson has a super sticker. Tyson, was I talking? Let me scroll. Oh, now I'm yawning. Somebody said yawn over there. Somebody said yawn. Ah, there's a super sticker. Thank you, Tyson. Thank you. Sorry. You rock. Oh, folks. All right. Maybe another question. It's 18 minutes after the hour now. Although we could always continue with what we're on for another minute. Yeah, I'm with David on this. Sanctions can be removed when Russia gives up its nukes. I'm totally with David on that one. I'm totally with David on that. That correct? Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. All right, guys. I think we are just going to turn this into hangout period. Yes. Thank you again, Harvey. That was sweet of you. Yeah, let's just hang out. Let's hang out now. Thank you, Donovan. Appreciate that. Oh, recap. I will do the recap. I never do remember the recap. Why does somebody keep asking about where their capital is on my map? I don't understand what you're asking. I already answered that question. Or you mean about the Ukrainians? The Ukrainian capital is right here. The oyster's in the way. Thank you, Kanausi. The Ukrainian capital is right here, if that's what you're asking. Sasha did get her walk. I didn't do a long one because, again, she's having her intestinal issues. So we sort of went around the block almost because she would be happy forcing it, but I didn't want to force it. So, alrighty. So let me recap here. There's no news right now about Brittany Griner. I updated on her the other day because the other day we found out that her pre-trial detention was extended another 18 days so the investigators could do more investigating. I don't know what they're investigating since it's all a scam, but nonetheless, they wanted 18 more days to prepare for trial. So they're holding her another 18 days. So it's probably 16 more days at this point. So that's the latest on that. Oh, I'm going to yawn at you guys. One moment. You got to remember, I had a 3-hour long, practically 3-hour long one earlier today when we were watching. Even though I wasn't doing much, it still was exhausting. So, recap, I started talking about the hearing. Trump was told that it was illegal for Mike Pence to reject the election results, but Trump pressured Pence to do it anyway. An insider, our confidential informant tells the FBI that the Proud Boy neo-fascist group would have killed Vice President Pence and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi had they gotten their hands on them during the insurrection. And John Eastman, the lawyer who cooked up the entire crazy scheme for Trump to steal the election in Congress, asked Trump for a pardon, and Trump didn't give him one. The leaders of France, Germany, Italy, and Romania visited Kyiv today, the capital, to meet with Zelensky. Oh, boy. All of them are now supporting Ukraine getting European Union candidate status, which is a big deal and great. France is going to send more artillery, which is great. Severodonetsk, which is that town they're all fighting over in eastern Ukraine. The Russians still do not control it. It looks like the Ukrainians may have pulled out of a significant portion of the town, although they may still be couched. And remember, yesterday they were couched in the basement of a chemical plant with a bunch of civilians. They might still be there, but it looks like some of the Ukrainian troops may have pulled out across the river and waited to see what happens next. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh. General Milley, the chairman of the American Joint Chiefs of Staff, says that Russia has lost between 20% and 30% of its armored forces since the war began. UK intelligence says that Russian forces are severely undermanned at this point. President Zelensky is calling for readiness checks just in case Belarus invades, so getting ready for that. Russia is reportedly moving its citizens to occupied territories. The Russian soldiers are bringing their relatives to the occupied territories, including Kherson, and moving into houses owned by Ukrainians. Children born after February 24th in Kherson Oblast will be forced to get Russian citizenship. Orphans are also being forced to take Russian passports. In the town of Berdyansk, I bring this story up because it's an example of resistance. The classes cannot open because teachers are refusing to teach the Russian curriculum, which the Russians are now demanding of them. So it's a nice sort of resistance story. We talked at length about the NBC story that Biden was upset about our secretaries of state and defense, secretaries of state and defense saying that the U.S. goal was for Russia to lose in the war, and that we wanted Russia to be hurt. My allergies are going crazy. We wanted Russia to be hurt so that they would be less likely to invade other countries in the future. The Brits have sanctioned Kirill, the Russian patriarch, who's a stooge. There are horrific stories of Ukrainians leaving Mariupol. The BBC has a big story on that. I recommend you guys Google it and go find it. Gazprom, the Russian gas giant, the Russian gas company, has cut off 60% of its supply to Germany. A Russian spy was caught at The Hague. Coca-Cola is gone from the Russian market. The UK is sending more howitzers. Canada is sending more howitzer replacement barrels. And the Russians claim that the Zaporizhia nuclear plant will start providing power to Russia starting September 1st, whereas the Ukrainians say, it's still part of the Ukrainian energy system and will continue to operate that way. So that is what I've got. And again, I apologize for yawning, but we did this 3-hour live this afternoon that was killing me. Because even though we were just watching TV, I have to kind of go back and forth and keep reading the comments, and it just gets exhausting after a while. So that killed me. So I apologize, but 3 hours of that made me, I don't like, well, it's, I mean, these hearings are special. These hearings are special. If it weren't for the hearings, if it weren't, for these hearings, I wouldn't be doing that many hours a day of this. So it's okay. It's okay. But I'm sorry. I know it's just like, it's yawning horribly, but oh God. Oh. Yes, Russia does not care about the Geneva Convention. That's for sure. That's for sure. What else? Anyway, this is the part of the show where we just hang out and chat for a little bit. I know the thing is it's 7:30 at night here, so I don't like to do coffee at this hour. When my coffee, coffee extract is ready in 3 weeks. Thank you, Kath. I know it is bedtime practically. When my coffee extract is ready in 3 weeks, thank you, Rainbow. I will. I'll consider doing shots of it if it's any good. Oh God, tell me there's no hearing tomorrow. The next hearing, I want to say, when the hell's the next hearing? Oh God, there isn't another one tomorrow. Thank you, Melissa. That's very nice of you. When is the next hearing, guys? Yeah, no power nap at 7:30. Too late for coffee. Oh, next week. I hope it's next week. It'll kill me if it's tomorrow. Better not be tomorrow. I don't know. This one I thought was interesting at the very end, but this one also dragged. I mean, I thought I don't even remember the details, but I remember the third segment being more interesting. That judge could have killed a corpse. I mean, he just was too slow. It was kind of amazing how slow he was. It could have been poignant. It could have been poignant slow, but it was just slow. It was just too slow. Yeah. I have matcha tea, but matcha will wake me up too. Don't worry. Classic me. I will finish with you guys, and then it'll be midnight and I'll be sitting here awake. It's crazy. I always get tired I get tired early and then I perk up, which is not helpful, but I go to bed easily. I don't have any problem going to sleep, which is nice. That I always do well. Yeah, excuse me. What else? Bored to tears. Exactly. This is funny. Glitter Goddess. He kind of looked like William Shatner and he was talking all haltingly like him. That's right. It was a attack on our democracy. The William Shatner version of the insurrection hearing. That's funny. Oh God. I'm going to keep yawning at you. Another couple minutes and then I'm going to take my break, guys. Oh, like I said, just killed me today, that thing. And again, because even though I wasn't doing much, it's just watching both windows and reading everything you guys were doing the whole time was enough to kind of wipe me out. Well, wipe me out with this too, but hang on. But yeah, we got to work on the Z t-shirts for sure. That is a guarantee. Oops. There we go. Hello. What am I doing here? There we go. Oh, eat something with sugar. Yeah, I'm going to do something. Oh, gosh. Actually, what I did do is too, I had some fruit before we started, but I think that just maybe did this. But you can see like I'm yawning and it's probably mixed with my allergies because you can see I'm becoming like Mr. Allergy too now, just to add to the fun. Do I have free time? No, not a lot. Well, I mean, I'm doing this stuff all day long, so my free time begins now, 7:30. You know, but I enjoy it. It matters to me. This is my, my volunteering for Ukraine. And this is the kind of stuff I've always done. I've always done this kind of advocacy in different ways. Yeah, I've got to see what I've got carbs wise. I'm never good at the I need to well, I do have some like little healthy bars, granola bar things, but they're from the Amazon store and they're not actually terribly bad for you. I could tell you them the sugar's not. You're very welcome, Kath. I had reached out to Zena Solo that once. Like I said, she didn't get back to me, which is fine. But I don't want to harass the poor woman. Maybe she doesn't want to do it. You know what I mean? We should not force her. Because sometimes people don't want to do stuff, and it's okay. So Sasha's doing fine. John is not seeing it. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? What are you doing over there? Oh, there you go. Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday is the next hearing. Okay, good. That gives me ample time to catch up on my sleep. Yeah, I didn't see it. Sorry. Did not see that you said that. I see it now. The Zunies. I've got you all yawning too. Sorry. Oh man, the Zunies. No, I don't know what we've got. Sasha is a Yorkie Bichon, a mixture of a Yorkshire Terrier and a Bichon Frise. Except that I don't want to perk up now. It's 7:30 at night. I want to like sit in front of the TV and veg. But yeah, she's a Yorkshire Terrier mixed with a Bichon Frise. Currently, she's resting. Well, now the weather is nice again. Oh God, now it's gorgeous. This is funny. There was a chance of a really bad storm, and my dog, being psychic, knew it. She could always tell when weather is coming. Oh yeah, it's done. I could open the curtains again. Okay, yeah, the weather's gone. There was a chance of a really bad storm, and it got really nasty out for about an hour right as we were talking, and she knew. She knew. I swear, I think she can tell with the barometric pressure or something. She always knows when it's going to rain. It's crazy. Yeah, warm shower is not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Sasha doesn't talk like a husky. No, she more. It's different. It's different. I'm in Washington, D.C. Yeah, I'm in D.C. I may do the warm shower thing. That sounds like a nice idea, just to kind of decompress a little. Oh, Putin has a speech Friday. I didn't even see. Is he finally doing his interview with the press thing he does with his multi-hour press conference thingy, or is this some speech about God knows what? What's the Putin speech? Zunies. That's true, actually. Yeah. Sasha's a mutt. How dare you? How dare you? She's a Yorkie Shan, which I never say. They call them Yorkie Shans. I never call it that. Never, ever, ever call it that. But that is what they say. A Yorkie Shan. A Shorkie. A brave little pup. About storms, you're lucky. You're very lucky. Sasha hates the weather. I mean, she literally can smell it clearly. Or she either smells it or she gets the barometric thing, because she always knows when the rain's coming. And she was scared earlier today. She handled it pretty well, but she was scared earlier today, and it hadn't even rained yet. There was no thunder. There was nothing. Bishori. But yeah, the Yorkies are quite the like. So like when she's feisty, but she's a Bichon too. So she's got her Bichon side that like loves everybody and gets scared. But the Yorkie then just gets pissed off, which you guys got to see a little bit of it during the show today when we were watching the hearings, when Sasha wanted me to play with her and she just started barking. Very like demanding little like rrr, rrr. Oh God, changing my political leanings because I was gay and I came out and realized like, whoa, this party hates me. So, but I still retain some of what I grew up with in me, such as I am very strong on defense. I don't hate business. I do agree with regulations on business, but I certainly am more favorable to business than some of my friends on the left. Yeah, the bark was funny today. Yeah. But that was her like when you're kind of going, heh, heh, and she's kind of playing with you, like, oh my God, you're getting me, you're going to get me kind of thing. So, but it's bad too, because then it means she thinks I'm going to play with her. Thank you, Christy. Oh boy. Zdorov chlope. No idea. Oh, you're all talking to each other. Sorry, let me pull my translate up. Where's my translate? There we go. Zdorov. I used to know the word Zdorov. Zdorov. Hello, boy. Chlope. I'm not sure what you're asking there. Hi, boy, is what it means. Yeah, how are you? All right. Hi, back at you. Yes, the Bijori. I'm still amazed at how well Google Translate works. It just freaks me out. It's so freaking good. Yep. What about you? Oh, okay, Atisho. But this is Russian, right? I studied Russian for a year. I don't speak Russian. I can say things like "Я иду на почту," I'm going to the post office, and "Лучше поздно, чем никогда." Better late than never. But is it Ukrainian? Okay, I wasn't even sure. I grew up in Chicago. But I know many Russian vocabulary words, but I don't speak Russian now. But I can certainly read it. I just wouldn't know what I'm reading. Like, well, if it were gay slang, it'd be, "Hey, girl." That would be gay slang. American gay slang, at least. We may have a bot. I know. Hard to say. Oh, 2-year-old Yorkie. Oh, wow. Found a little kitten stray and brought it in for the night. Little Yorkie was all little mother about the kitten. Oh, get out. Oh, how cute. That's sweet. Thank you, Jesse, for those. Oh, that's so sweet, Jay. That's really cute. I'm surprised. Now, Sasha likes cats very much. So I'd be curious. She's never seen a kitten. I'd be curious what she would do with a kitten, but she really likes grown-up cats. So that'd be very interesting to see, like, how she would respond. That's really cute. The Yorkie mothering a kitten. That's like a postcard, Molly can feel it too. Jessica, that's funny. Yeah, no, it's really weird. I mean, the storm isn't even vaguely here yet, and she knows it's coming. Except that she didn't totally freak out either. Like, she knew it was coming, but she wasn't. Honest to God, Google Translate was about to become self-aware. Tell me about it. I know. It's freaky. I read that story about the guy. He's a little weird, but it was a kind of a cool story. Jesse on TikTok. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. It never hurts to have another person weigh in on on whatchamacallit, Twitch. Oh, and make sure you follow me on all of the different apps, if you would, folks. So follow always helps. Twitch, especially since we're trying to build that up. Test. You tested correctly, famous in a few. You did. What else? Anyway. All right, guys, I'm about to go. I don't mean to go mid-test of famous in a few, but it's 40 after the hour. We've been here a while. Oh boy. No idea what this means. Let me see. Oops, I want to see what this means. Thank you, Kath, for that. Oh, palyanica. That must be some kind of a dish with strawberries. You guys are funny. Macron que piensas? I'm saying Macron que piensas. I'm saying Spanish with a French accent. Macron que pienso. Bueno. Un poco gilipollas. That's what I think of Macron. You know, I talked about him earlier. We'll talk about him again tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Es la palabra para descubrir a un ruso. Es la palabra para descubrir a un ruso. What, gilipollas? Or describir, you mean? Describir or descubrir? Oh, the Russians, you mean, don't know how to pronounce. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Adios. A todos. So long. Farewell. All right, guys. Good seeing. Oh, Mrs. Mahalati, you're back. Saw you for the hearing and thought you would comment more. During the hearings, I'm trying to not comment because people are watching, and I just there's a lot of comments going on in the comments, which is good, but I'm trying not to sort of speak up and comment because I feel like I'm talking over it and I never know who. It's like talking at the movies, So, but I did try to join in a little more today, like in the comments. I'm trying to do that more when we're doing the hosting so that I can type more and that kind of stuff. But all right, guys, I'm going to go. I'm absolutely exhausted. Hasta luego, bagel. Hasta luego, bagel. All right, guys, I'm going to go. À demain, Audrey. And there we go. All right, hang up on you guys first because there's a delay on TikTok. But tomorrow, as always, Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, midnight Paris, we shall be here. All right, bye, you.